I don't know why.
Oh, weird. Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Oh, shoot. Oh, we're live. Hey everyone. Good morning. Good every morning, Sunday morning? Sunday morning. This is Ferdber the Nerd and Pickles Nichols. This is show number 5, 6. I can't even. I mean, we've done so many and they've been so great. Where'd you go?
Sorry, I dropped something.
Anyway, we got 3 live so far. Thanks everyone for showing up and joining us this Sunday morning. Let's do a little intro. Oh, we got 2 live. There's people leaving already. That's cool.
like nuts to this.
Yeah, they're like, screw that. I put a little poll in the chat there. So if you got, just really curious of what everyone thinks about whether or not Mr. Swordmaster will make it into the MCU. What were you talking about today? We are talking about Swordmaster. The reason I brought this up was because of the new announcement of Shang-Chi #2 going to be developed and filmed I think starting this year, I believe. And so great, Shang-Chi was a pretty cool introduction into that type of universe or whatever. What kind of got me excited was the fact that the tweet, which let me see if I can find it here. Give me 1 second. But the tweet was kind of what got me excited and why I wanted to talk about Swordmaster. Let's see. Shang-Chi news. Okay, rumors. It's like Marvel something. Can't find it. I wish I could have found it, but let's see. Marvel. Shang-Chi. Marvel updates. There it is. This is it. Is it? Okay, here we go. So I'm going to share this real quick, and this is basically the whole reason where we are talking about Shang-Chi today. So this tweet from Marvel Previews right here says, in Shang-Chi 2, Shang-Chi will lead a team of Asiatic superheroes on an adventure through time. So I thought that was just kind of interesting because it's not through multiverses, it's through time. And if you read Swordmaster, there's a which we'll explain in a little bit. He kind of has to go back into time in his own dreams, within the book, to figure out what he's trying to do. So I'm not sure if he has like some type of power or ability to go through time, like not only subconsciously, but like to take people through time. But if in my opinion, there's a pretty high chance that he will end up going. We'll end up introducing Swordmaster. It makes sense. There's a lot of focus with the Iron Fist and all that. We're not going to talk about the Iron Fist type stuff like in detail. We're going to talk more about Swordmaster, and just kind of wanted to talk about him. He's one of our favorite characters to talk about, and I just thought that was kind of cool because a lot of people don't really know about him, and the print runs are kind of minuscule compared to other main characters or whatnot. So figure this would be a good deal to do to kind of get into that. But before we do that, we're gonna do a little bit of advertising here. I did put in my Facebook profile, or I did put my Facebook profile. If you guys want to click on it, it's my professional page. I do mortgages full time and just trying to advertise that out. I also do market updates on that with like actual macro and macroeconomic stuff. So the link is in the chat. So please go ahead and do that. And and yeah, that would be really great. And let's go say with sorry, I'm kind of fumbled here. One more thing I want to kind of present to you. A new show I watched on Mondays, I believe. It's on Rumble. They're also on YouTube, but it's OTR on the radar. My friends Trey, Vinny, and Mr. Marcus are on the show. I believe they're doing Mondays, but they're also on YouTube as well. But it's just on the radar, and they're doing it on Mondays. So give them a follow and check them out. Pretty cool stuff. And let's say hi to the chat this morning. Again, thanks. We got 7 live today. Thanks everybody for joining through. Hi, Nathan, our Pacific Northwest homie in downtown Seattle. What's going on? Blood Sausage, yo, what's going on, my friend? Yes, I would have loved to get into Ages of Atlas and a little bit more into like White Fox, Wave. Jason, is there any more Ages of Atlas characters that you kind of follow or whatnot?
Amadeus Cho was one, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I haven't gotten through all of his Totally Awesome Hulk run, but I've gotten through a good chunk of it, and I enjoy it. It's just kind of funny because like when they bring on the new characters, everybody expects them to be kind of like the same or similar, and it's just like he's a kid, man. So it's more playful, more fun of a book series than say like the Incredible Hulk was.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Nathan wants to know what sword does Pickle own. Are you talking about Sword Master or just sword?
No, I do have a sword. It's because of the title where I have owner of sword, master of none.
Oh, is that your title? And let's talk nicknames. Pickle or Nickel or Peony or Cole?
Whatever works.
Okay, cool.
I'm not objecting to anything.
Nerdbird is cool. Bird Nerd, I never heard that one, but I'll take that to the bank.
I keep calling you that in YouTube chats and stuff like that. I say, "Oh, hey, it's Fred the Bird Nerd" or something like that.
Hate you. Cave Drawings, yeah, what's going on, man? I think I did. I'm not trying to take credit or whatever, but that is awesome. This is what this channel is for today. We're gonna talk about kind of like the history. We're gonna briefly kind of go over. It's quote unquote a spoiler show, but we're gonna go through the history of Swordmasters 1 through 12. So it's a 12-issue miniseries. His first appearance we'll talk about as well, and kind of the key books to look out for and what they're currently going for. So hopefully you guys. Oh, hey, Jubies. Say hi. Say hi, Jason. Say hi, Jason. Okay, cool. I hope you guys take because like with newer characters that you're getting into, I don't want you guys to spend like a whole a band on a bunch of random comic books and then they fall to like $250. I don't think that will happen with Swordmaster. He's ever since the kind of introduction or assumption that Asian characters are going to make it into the MCU, this has been a character that I feel a lot of people have already spec'd on. So we'll see, and a lot of foreshadowing for sure in SHANG CHI. And it feels like it's been forever since that movie came out. Anyone in the chat, does anyone remember when that movie came out? I can't even remember. Do you remember, Jason?
I want to say it was like 4 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, that's such a long time ago. So, I mean, everyone's kind of annoyed with how the MCU is going right now. There's a lot of focus on the DC universe, but we're gonna kind of we're gonna reel it back in to, we're gonna reel it back in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How do you do that
Yeah. All right, I'll stop being annoying. So anyway, Swordmaster, is he gonna make it in the MCU? If you guys think, we got 1 vote, I think, in the poll, or 7 votes. Sorry, cool. So 100% of you guys think he will make it. Hopefully he does. And we'll see how it goes. 2 years ago, okay, Jason, we have been schooled by elementary or by an 11-year-old dude. It's
I don't know, man. Time is all relative. Like sometimes I think it's like Friday when it's Tuesday. No, I just don't know how long ago it's been. It feels like it's been a long time though, because there's having so much stuff in between.
Yeah, I think it was definitely like COVID when I watched it, either at home or in the movie theater. But I like the dude with the sword, like with the sword hands and stuff. Forgot his name, but I have his first appearance somewhere. Anyway, we're not talking about that guy. So what we're talking about today? What? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, we kind of have to.
We kind of have
because he's if he wasn't a factor in like the if he wasn't a factor in Swordmaster universe, like Swordmaster wouldn't be trained the way that he is, because I'm pretty like, isn't he the one who actually taught him how to fight?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true. Okay, that's legit. Anyway, so looks like Jason's finally getting a date. Is that right? Okay, sorry. That was fine.
My Friday was spent reading comic books yesterday, or my Saturday.
Today we're
like, well, I'm not doing anything, so I might as well read all these.
Today we're finally talking about our favorite MCU or Marvel, not MCU, but Marvel character wielding swordsman Lin-Lee, and his possible entry into the MCU. We're talking his story, origin, and key books in today's episode. Again, thanks everybody for joining us. Oh, and we are doing a giveaway. So this is New to Agents of Atlas #2. This is not 9.8. It's kind of a trick. And then if you like our show so much, I'm giving away a Swordmaster 9.8 at the end of the show. There's a comment there's a phrase you have to say at the end of the show to be entered into the drawing. So hope you guys all stay through, and let's get into it.
I don't even want to know what the phrase is.
I'll make it.
I know it's going to be some kind of attack on me. It's somehow. It's like, I just know. You're like, you have to say the secret phrase. I'm like, God damn it.
Oh man, that's awesome. So his first appearance is in Ages of Atlas, War of the Realms, Ages of Atlas 2. There is a multitude of covers for this book. There's a cover A, obviously. I can't remember if he's on the cover, but there's like a demon in the middle of it, and then there's
the main cover.
Yeah, the main cover. There's a 1 in 25, which is like essentially like the one to get, but it goes for a pretty good price. And then there's a second print, which is the one we have here. It's an interior of the pages of the book, and let's see here. Sorry, it's an interior of the book, and it also shows Wave. And then you have Arrow at the top. I forgot who the girl on the bottom left. I think she's a Thai character. But I feel like out of all the covers, like this one, if you can get for like $15, it is really hard to get in high grade because, one, the back of the cover is that poster of Endgame, where it's just color rubbed like all day long. And I think the print run on this guy was like, I want to say like 4,000. So it's pretty low print run. It was kind of that time of the era when people weren't paying attention to second prints. This book came out in 2019, I want to say. Yeah, I believe it was 2019, like summertime. But I feel like this one's the value one to get. If you can get a 9.8 under like $100, I think it's a pretty good investment. I bought one actually 9.8 for $66 like 3 months ago. I know comic books are kind of going up a little bit, and yeah. So anyway, do you have any of these Agents of Atlas books? The first, which ones?
I've got the main cover in. I think I've got a raw copy, a 9.6 and a 9.8. I've got this one, but for whatever reason, like you or I didn't see anything on it when we like looked at it, but CGC was like, oh, like half of the back cover was stained and this and that, and gave me like, I don't even remember what it was, like an 8.5 or something stupid on it. I'm like, damn it, what the? It's like I'm looking at it and I don't even see a stain on it. So
yeah, it's a tough 9.8. If you can find one raw for like under $80 at this, like in this market, I say go for it. Because like, yeah, the 1 in 25 you'll see later in the slides. I don't know if you can get it for that price anymore, but this is his first appearance. He's actually on the cover of the first of Age of Atlas #1, but this is the actual first appearance in the pages and all that good stuff. So they introduced a bunch of guys in this. There's a bunch of first appearances in this book as well. So pick it up. And then a few months later, they came out with his own series, Swordmaster. And so I thought this was interesting too, in regards to like, okay, who's coming? Who are they gonna? Marvel is always like, dropping breadcrumbs or like putting out tea leaves and all that stuff. Hey, what up, Wookie fodder? So they put out Swordmaster with his own series, and then they had Arrow. And I want to say like throughout the year or so, like they had White Fox on. What team is that? It was in the chat earlier. Oh my gosh, I know what.
Tiger Division.
Tiger Division, yeah, there you go. Tiger Division, Blood Sausage. Thank you so much. So they have like White Fox and Tiger Division, Taguchi, who's a Korean superhero, first appearance Taskmaster 3, but they didn't have specific only series for these characters. They had it for Swordmaster and Arrow, Arrow's a pretty good series too, but I fell in love with this. This is like more kind of the reason I liked this series so much was because it was like the closest. The art was really cool. It was very like, manga style, Final Fantasy, whatever you want to call it. And I honestly thought the name Swordmaster was kind of corny, but I just dug kind of the way the book, it starts out like from the get-go. It just, you're on a chase throughout the whole entire series. And there's a lot of history. It kind of starts out really fast and they go through some like history, which we'll talk about in a minute, but it keeps you engaged. I mean, at least it did for me. What did you like about, like, what drew you into reading this comic book other than me suggesting it?
You told me like you suggested it, but you were like literally describing like, dude, it's like Final Fantasy meets like anime. Like you got to check it out. And I was like, all right, that seemed right up my alley. So, but it was like I remember it being an easy read. It was a quick read. I was but I was upset that they didn't continue it because it's like they just leave. It's like this. It left me feeling like the Swamp Thing TV series. I'm like, how are you guys gonna do me like that? Like, like you just leave me hanging.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. And the first, like, kind of what our slides talk about. Basically, the story surrounds is around this kid named Lindley. He wakes up from a dream about this monster, who's basically like the devil of, kind of a Satan of like his, I don't want to say culture, or just like kind of his mythology or whatever. And you find out that his dad and brother are missing, and he doesn't know how to find them. He doesn't know how to fight. He doesn't come out with like crazy like skills or anything like that. But yeah, he's like a kid. I don't know exactly what age he is, but like he's got to be like a student of some sort. It definitely adheres. It kind of has like, I mean, I'm not trying to compare, but like it definitely has like Peter Parker vibes for sure. Like in regards to like, oh, he's a kid, he has like all these friends that kind of help him out, and it's kind of have that, has kind of that feel to it and all that good stuff. So, but yeah, so issues 1 through 3, basically, he gets this like package in the mail from like this really weird dude, and like he opens up this package and it's like a puzzle, and he's like, oh, it must be for my dad, because my dad was always like, his dad's like an archaeologist, and he was always really into puzzles and all that good stuff. And then he opens up the box, and this delivery person ends up turning into a demon. And within the box, this puzzle, there is like an orb or a jewel, whatever you want to call it. And we don't find out till later on, but that jewel contains the spirit of Chiyu. Is that how you say? I don't know how to say Shiyu. I don't know how you say exactly, but that's the devil or the spirit, that's the spirit of the devil that he's dreaming about in the first series. And then he gets kind of rescued by the gal here on the cover of Swordmaster 1. Her name is G. I won't even try and say her last name. It's just too long for me to say. And I'll probably butcher it, but she is also part of this kind of culture as well, in the mythology and all that good stuff, and I'll kind of get into in the next slide. That is the wrong caption up top. It's not World's Finest. So in this issues, when you get into issue 4, you kind of get more into the mythology of what exactly the sword is from. So you get into kind of the mythology of what's going on next. So this G gal who shows up, she is also part of this family of descendants of the three sovereigns. So when I heard three sovereigns, it reminded me of, what was it? Big Trouble in Little China. You know, that kind of mythology. Like,
You are nowhere.
So, green eyes like creamy jade. So anyway, so going through these issues, going through the next couple of issues, we find the origin of the sword, and it's from Lin Lee's basically part of this family, and the first appearance is in issue 4 of these guys on cover. I think they're at the end of issue 3, but basically these three families wield these weapons, and they end up figuring out a way to defeat Chi Yu and his army of the dead, basically against, their people. And Lin Lee, like he dreams about this. I don't know why he dreams about it, but for whatever reason he dreams about it. And Ji, she is also she's a descendant also of this family as well. And he's just kind of figuring things out on the run. So they're trying to figure out, like, okay, what do we do to get like these demons away from us, because they're being chased by all these different demons and all this stuff. And Lin Lee's sword, which Jason, you found out was left by his dad. Is that right?
His dad disappeared like right after he brought the sword home.
Okay, so the sword is like in the house, and he has no idea how to use it or whatever and that stuff. And in issue 3, G's kind of like explaining to him like what the mythology or like the origin of the sword is. She ends up stabbing him with the sword, but it goes right through him, because the sword itself, he's the only one that can wield it, and he can't be like hurt by it as well. So it's really interesting kind of like mythology and all that stuff. But that's issues 4 through 6, I want to say, or we're leading up to 4 through 6. Oops. So this is issue 3. This issue right here, I want to talk about the cover on this one. So this was a 1 in 25 variant. That was issue 3, was not ordered heavily. I want to say it was like 30,000. So I don't know how many stores were buying 25 copies of issue 3, but I think this is a great cover. It's tough and high grade because of, again, the color rubbing and all that stuff. But in the background, obviously that's Lin Lee, but in the background is Chi Yu, who is the devil. He's way bigger than that, so it's kind of weird. But issues 5 through 6, Doctor Strange comes around. And so I thought this was kind of interesting too, because Baron Mordor, who I don't know a lot about, he's trying to find this sword. And hey, what's going on? Nice. Yeah, it's a beautiful cover. It's really tough and high grade, but I saw one on eBay actually for $30. I don't know if it's still on there, but if it's in high grade, if you get 9.6 out of that, like, that's a good buy. Anyway, sorry, I messed up. I should have reread through these slides, but disregard that Bird City homage deal. So issues 5 through 6, Doctor Strange shows up, and he's like, "Who's the kid? What's this sword all about?" Like, Baron Mordor is like trying to get it, and obviously, kind of what I was talking about earlier, only Lin Lee can wield the sword. So it's gonna be really hard for him to get to obtain the sword, even if he like kicks Lin Lee's ass or whatever, blah blah blah. But what I thought was interesting is, okay, you're introducing Doctor Strange into this comic book. I know, albeit it's like 3 years ago. That's almost another MCU reference to me. This is obviously a magical kind of like world, and that's right up Doctor Strange's alley. So it would be interesting if for some reason Swordmaster doesn't make it into Shang-Chi 2, he could possibly make it into Doctor Strange with Wong, kind of in like that Asian background type of deal. So there's a lot of like kind of segues here where I'm just like, man, if you can find any of these Swordmaster books for like, really good price, it's a really good spec. You may have to wait a while, but I think it's a good spec in regards to that. But anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. What did you think about Doctor Strange meeting up with Swordmaster in issue 6 or 7? He's on the cover too, by the way.
Well, I mean, it kind of threw me off a little bit just because it was a different aspect of the story itself, especially like from what was going on. But it wasn't like too surprising, only because like for whatever reason they've been incorporating Doctor Strange here and there in a ton of different series and stuff like that, like even branching out from like Strange Academy and stuff like that, which I know is like based off of him. But I just started seeing him popping up in a lot of different series. I think he's even in the Totally Awesome Hulk series at some point too.
Is he?
Yeah, I think so. Don't quote me on that, but I thought he popped up within the first 10 books. I could be wrong.
Okay. No, yeah, all really good points here. And again, it's like, don't put me in a. Okay, Joe, we won't. Thanks, man. So again, like the movie, the comic's still moving, like it's still moving at a really fast pace. So we kind of get into the rest of the series, and the reason I'm kind of going through these slides kind of quick, or just kind of the synopsis, is like I want you guys to read it. The trade paperbacks go for like $20 for the whole series, like on Amazon. It's 2 volumes. It's only a 12-issue series, but anyway, kind of in general, like G and Lin figure out a way to stop Chi Yu, and the way they have to basically go back to, I guess she lives in this estate, it's this huge mansion. Nuwu is the name of the estate, and what really got me like, oh man, I gotta read the rest of the series is, so Lin Li is looking for his brother and dad. He has no idea what happened to him. But at the end of issue 9, which is the cover right here, which is a sick cover, he spots him at like a airport at the like near the end of the episode or the issue, and he almost has that Sephiroth kind of like feel, not so much look, but like he's kind of like winking at him a little bit, or just kind of like a little like smile is on his face. I just thought it was like, oh man, like, so what's up with his brother? And like that story of, okay, I'm trying to find my relatives to rescue them or whatever is cool, but like now he's trying to find his brother. He spots him, and it's pretty obvious from the comic book that like it's his brother. And the brother isn't like running to him. He's like kind of like got this like weird look on his face, like kind of like I'm messing with you kind of look. So there's obviously like a rivalry here, or just like some type of like he could turn into basically an enemy of Lin Li down the road, which is so like, which when it comes to character development, when it comes to like relatives like fighting each other, and like any type of like show, I think it's this, it throws a different element of like, I don't know, like which side you're going to choose. It makes it a little more mysterious, and he just pieces out at the end of issue 9. So anyway, it kind of keeps you like kind of grasped into the end of the issues or whatever. But yeah, what do you think of issue 9 going forward into the book, end of the series? I mean,
that's kind of like where it really starts to pick up, where you start questioning a lot more of what's going on, because you, like you said, you'd think that he's looking for it, like, because there was no body found, no anything. It was just kind of like brother and father gone.
Yeah.
And so you would think that it was just kind of like a weird kind of, I remember reading it, getting like a weird vibe from it, like you were saying, because it's just kind of like he finally spots him, and he's just kind of like gives him that kind of sinister glance, and you're just like, yeah. Wait, what? Like, is that actually him? Is that just because he's been going through so much, he's been seeing so many things? Is that just a vision? Is he seeing? Is it a demon like posing as? Like, there's just so many things that it could be, that you're just kind of like, whoa, wait, so like what's going on here? Like, is that his brother? Is it not his brother? Like, is he, if it is he bad now? Like,
yeah,
was he always bad? Like,
like what turned him bad? Like, because
Is
I
he the
mean,
reason that the father is missing? Like,
yeah, exactly. So it's all mysterious. Like that's kind of what got me in. And when I was at Emerald City Comic Con last year, Amy Chu was there, and
yes,
she was the writer of issues 9 through 12. And if you don't know, we will tell you. Issue 9 was not heavily ordered. 4,500 copies were ordered. So you got to assume if issue 9, who is quote unquote a pivotal, issue, was not ordered heavily. It's her first appearance there. I mean, that's good spec. 10, 11, 12 also are probably less likely to be heavily ordered, and I'll tell you why. So I was talking to Amy Chu about this. I was giving her flowers and, talking about how like me and my friends really got engaged in the story. And I couldn't understand why not a lot of people wanted or reading this book. And she's like, well, Marvel, she kind of gave me an in-depth wave, and it's pretty obvious, but like Marvel basically, like, they're very picky on if not a lot of people obviously are ordering the book, they will end the series. They just will not continue, and they'll kind of leave it up in the air. But she said, yeah, we would have they could have gone longer in the series, but Marvel said you have 3 issues and that's it, because the orders of the book were just really low. So if you find those later issues like 9 through 12, for like undercover or like cover price, like it's gonna be, I think, a pretty good deal for spec if you want to play that low production game, which I think is really interesting. I don't find these that much anymore. Whenever I go hunting in the wild, I find the middle kind of ones. But that, I thought that was kind of interesting to hear from her, because for me, the last few episodes, when they tie everything up and then kind of leave out a little bit of the breadcrumbs at the end, it's really good reading, if you will, for people that don't read books anymore, right? It's really good reading. So, anything to add, my friend? What's up, Renee?
I mean, it was just kind of like, because I mean, as well as I do, and maybe some of the people in the chat do too, that basically it jumps from Swordmaster to Iron Fist eventually, but it's like I feel unfulfilled slightly by that, only because it's like there's such a, by the time you pick up an Iron Fist, like he already knows how to fight, and he's already somehow like been bestowed the Iron Fist powers by the Eternal Dragon. So you're like, well, what happened in between? Like, you left me on a cliff note at Swordmaster, and now he's this way already, and like he was barely learning how to fight at the end of Swordmaster. So it's kind of like I want what's in between. Let me know what happened. Fill the gap.
Yeah, for real. The next series after this is Atlantis Attacks, and I actually did not pick up that series. I need to pick that up because there's a lot more. You can go into Agents of Atlas, like they did an Agents of Atlas series afterwards, and then Atlantis Attacks. I'll pick that up. The Agents of Atlas series, like the 1 through 5 series, was kind of boring, to be honest, but I read it just because I wanted more Swordmaster and like wave stuff. But if you kind of picked up recently and were more curious about Swordmaster, he becomes Iron Fist in the regular MCU. So he takes over Danny Rand, and there's kind of like a question in regards to like, what the hell happened? How did he become Iron Fist? I didn't read. Hey, what's up, Taylor? Oops. Thanks for joining. Yes, that book is pretty tight. There's a Miko Suyan variant in there as well, I want to say. That's really cheap. I think it just doesn't get enough. I don't think it gets enough class. Oh, thank you, Dragon's Den. Or the Dragon. The Dragon sent you. That's kind of cool.
The Dragon.
So this is
Flaming Dragon. Remember that shit from Tropic Thunder? It's like, hey, listen here, Flaming Dragon. This is Rex Grossman.
Oh man, that was such. Man, I forgot the name of that movie for like the longest time. That's like a 20-year-old movie too.
I thought about it because it's just popping up recently. Like, people are like boycotting it, even though it's like a freaking 10-year-old, 15-year-old movie or something like that, because of Robert Downey Jr.
Oh,
like, painted up. and doing like blackface for the movie. And basically Ben
Yeah.
Stiller's came out and said like, I'm not apologizing for shit. He's like, I love that movie. Like that movie was great the way it was.
Yeah. He got like an Academy Award nomination too for that. Anyway. Yeah, so Iron Fist, he becomes Iron Fist, like we said before. If you want to know the story and cheap spec as well, I think I'm giving it away to. I'm not giving it, or I have it somewhere, but in the giveaway, I'm going to give Death of Doctor Strange White Fox. So what happens in that issue is somehow in the whole story of Doctor Strange dying and all these demons and stuff coming through, the White Fox has to fight off these like demons or like just basically enemies that come out of nowhere because of Doctor Strange's magic and all that stuff. Really, it's a pretty cool crossover now that I think about it. But Lin Lee and White Fox are, I believe, are like in Korea, and they're fighting off a bunch of like these like demons, and the main demon knows what your biggest fears are, and he uses that against you, obviously. And in that issue, which I'll show in a little bit, Lin Lee gets his sword like broken. It breaks into pieces, essentially. And he falls down this like, I want to say like a waterfall or something. And then he's gone from the whole issue. And yes, Iron Fist is back as Lin Lee. Renee, I'll hook you up with an issue number 1 of Iron Fist. I have one somewhere.
I think I got one here somewhere if we want to raffle it. Like I know I have it, but
yeah, we can. I don't know if we have enough people to raffle it, but we only got 9 in the chat. But yeah. So the next series is he shows up in Kunlun, and is given the power of the Iron Fist. I'm not going to tell you how, but it's in this first issue. And this issue right here is the 1 in 50. It's a homage to Amazing Spider-Man, obviously. So that's Danny Rand giving up the Iron Fist power. So it's taken away from him and given to Lin Lee. And throughout I'm not going to talk about Iron Fist too much, but you've read it. He's got like shards of the sword like in his freaking arm. And like the way to describe it, they describe it in the Iron Fist comic book. It's like he's in pain because he's got these freaking shards that like they light up every single time he needs to like fight. And it's like how that, so the kind of the whole story of the Iron Fist, which is really good, well written as well, is like, how does he get the sword back together? You know what I mean? And you've read it. We're not going to talk about all of it because we want people to read it. But yeah, the dude's got shards of freaking the sword in his like arms, and he's more of a badass. So obviously from the end of Swordmaster, he learns how to fight. He's like a really good fighter at this point, and he has the power of the Iron Fist. Yeah,
and he's being trained by Shang-Chi. And he's being trained by Shang-Chi.
So again, all of these like things are happening. So as far as the MCU spec, obviously you guys are gonna read this book. I mean, we just told you all to read the books, but he's given his own series, and they talk about him in it. He's meeting up with Doctor Strange, Shang-Chi. He's given the powers of the Iron Fist, which we all know. Home dude, I forgot the guy's name, is not going to play Iron Fist in the MCU. I hope at least, or maybe they go into this story and like somehow he gets the Iron Fist power, like in the MCU, handed to him by Danny Rand. I don't know. What do you think?
This was when they started buzzing about certain news of Shang-Chi too. This was like the thing I was most excited for, because I was like, it only makes sense because they've already signed on half of the Defenders to come into the MCU, right? They already signed on Jessica Jones and Daredevil, and we already know Punisher is going to be in that series as well. And it's like, this just, to me, I really hope they go this route, because I don't want to see Danny Rand again. I would prefer to see this, only because like I remember, especially if you're going at it, introducing him through Shang-Chi. I remember that movie in particular, out of all the did that start phase 4, I think, or somewhere near the beginning of that. I just remember being blown away by that movie, by how visually beautiful it was. Like, and I've always been that way with like martial arts and stuff like that. They're all like just beautiful to watch. But I just remember watching that first fight scene where his parents encounter each other, and she's basically trying to prevent him from going any further in the forest. I just remember watching that, and like that scene like moved me when I was watching it.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Like it was like I wouldn't say that it brought me to tears, but it's like it moved something in me close to like how that would type of deal. Like I wasn't crying or nothing like that, but I was like shaken by it. Like it was so fun to watch.
Yeah, that's like, and the way they kind of like separated the movie in like all those different chapters, and then like the ending, it was all really well done. And again, the whole like, this is so like Asian of the movie to do. Son is never good enough for dad, and at the end, dad realizes how much of a jackass he is and loves his son, and then he dies. it's like
gets killed by a dragon.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it always happens.
Yeah, I mean, like that was very real life for me. Love you, Dad. I don't, that's a good question. I didn't watch the whole Danny Rand Netflix series.
I did.
I didn't. I know. I stopped watching it. They may recast that girl from Iron Fist, but like, could they potentially be like, oh, just kidding, and like totally redo that whole? I mean, they may even reintroduce her into the MCU. That's a total possibility as well. So, I mean, who knows, right? Kessel Run. If you guys are not following Kessel Run on IG, he and you like Star Wars anything, this guy is like a scholar, if you will, when it comes to Star Wars spec, just knowledge, specifically comic books. I don't know how much he knows about like toys and all that stuff, but he always puts up really good stuff. And Empire Comics, my homie from the East Coast, I know it's almost 3 o'clock over there, maybe like 2:30. I'm trying really hard to vouch for my homie Empire Comics. Follow him on YouTube. He's a good dude, works hard, has really cool new comic book day and like pickup shows. And we're trying to get him to 1,000 subs. I think you're at 973 last time I checked. I'm not stalking your page, I promise. But yeah, give him a follow on YouTube and IG and all that good stuff.
That's what a normal stalker would say. I'm totally not stalking you.
I hate you, man. Anyway, actually, follow Empire and unfollow Jason. That's what you all should do today.
Yes, that's actually a smart investment.
All right, so let's get into some of the key books in the series per Jason and I. So I kind of talked about at the beginning of the show. For people that are just catching in, cool. Thank you again. 11 Live. That's our bread and butter. Like we're cool with that.
Love that Lynn variant. It's sexy.
Which one? Oh, the number 2, 125. Yeah. So first cover appearances on Agents of Alice 1. This is the cover A that goes for around $20 to $30. I'd probably just get a 9.8 for like $80 and just say la vie, with it. There's a lot of first appearances. Blood Sausage, you're referencing the New Agents of Atlas number 1, the wave cover, limited to 1,000 by Miko. I have that one. It's a different spec. It's for a Filipino character, but anyway, it's on my Instagram. I probably post it like once a month, but that's a 1 in 25 on the left. I have a market price for it on my next slides, but that's the one to get if you want to really go hardcore into Swordmaster. The 1 in 25 in high grade, it's really tough to get, and people are not selling that book. So if you can get it for a good price, like it's hard. And I bought a 9.4, I cracked it, got signed, and got 9.8 out of it, so I'm good there. But I saw 1 in 25 is going for $250 to $700 in 9.8. It's all over the board. So either people are just like, I'm done with the spec, or they just need money. I don't know what it is, but we'll see in the next slides over. And then these are kind of, sorry, that's a bad slide. Swordmaster 9 and 12. We were kind of talking about it earlier. Again, Swordmaster 9, super short print run. I got that from the source, Amy Chu, who's the writer of 9 through 12. This is a 4,500 copy count. I have like 7 of these. Average, I think I paid was like $10 a piece for them. But dude, they're so tough and high grade. I have 2 9/8s, I think. No, I sold 1 9/8. I have a bunch of the last issues in high grade 9.8. But Jason, do you have the whole set of Swordmaster, or what are you missing?
No, Swordmaster, I pretty much only have book 1 and a couple of variants. The rest of them I just read through my Marvel online thing because I wanted to read the series and I didn't want to hunt for the books to do so. I was just like, I just want to read it here.
Yeah, I mean, like it's a lot cheaper to do it that way too.
Well, and plus a lot of LCSs, you go in there and it's just not a book that they have really. Like you don't find Swordmaster sections. I've looked, but they just don't have them.
Yeah. Anyone in the chat? I mean, I don't know if you guys came through our show to learn about Swordmaster, or if you are just a Swordmaster fan and just wanted to see what we had to say about it. But
yeah, if we're just throwing out bad information and you've got good stuff, send it through the chat. I would be like, these guys are idiots. Like they don't even know anything about it.
That guy's sideburns were all messed up. I don't know what's into.
Still, they're growing back.
I can't even grow sideburns, so I mean, I'm 40, I can't grow sideburns. But no, I'm just curious. Like, so like we live in Seattle, which is very like diverse community, and like, I mean, I'm Filipino. Like so you think that like, oh, Swordmaster, I'm a comic book shop, I should order a bunch of these because culturally, like, probably my customers want this, or just whatever. I'm wondering, like in the East Coast or like down south, like did you Swordmaster people in the chat, did you guys see this at your LCSs, or are you guys buying these online? Because I scoop these up like every once in a while, but I think the LCSs that I've gone to, like they kind of caught on, just from finding them in back bins and like bumping the price up, which is fine.
Honestly, I think most of the copies I've gotten is just buying them off of whatnot sellers who just like happen to have them. I'll just ask like, hey, do you have any Swordmaster? And they're like, yeah, but they don't really know what it is and they're just happy to get rid of it. So I'm like, yeah, really? Dude, like $4, $3. Yeah, I just started. There you go. This was a while ago, but I just started asking in shows, just being like, hey, do you happen to have this? Do you happen to have that? Like, or just any Swordmaster. And then they'll be like, yeah, actually I do, and this and that. So I've been able to find stuff for cheap that way.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, if they have it, they're not like selling it for much.
Yeah. We did.
I mean, obviously the variants they will, but
yeah, the variants they like are really tough to get, but like the single issues, like I feel like if you like my comic shop, they're all gone. Midtown, I scooped up a bunch. I got like 10 issue ones, like way back for like $3.50 a pop, but oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. Cadrons, are you in? I can't remember. Are you in Seattle, or where are you at? I always forget. No, you're East Coast. But that's good to know, man. Like, so I gotta assume that people are. I mean, some. Yeah, I was just curious of like where if we just weren't ordering a lot of them locally, or if just comic book stores in general just didn't have them. But that's good to know. But again, these two are like key books and like the regular covers. These are my favorite variants, so quote unquote best variants. Maryland, okay, so East Coast. So that's good to know. So the first one, do you have that one, Jason?
No, that one's I can never find it for a price I'm good with paying for it.
Yeah, that's cool. Our homie Blue Green Artifacts had them for sale. He had the second print, which is really tough in 9.8 also, and this one in 9.8 they sold for $150 on eBay. I probably should send you the link. I'm sorry. I have 4 copies of this in 9.8, so I'm good. But that Hans variant, I know Drew from Wanted Comics, which I'll show you a slide in a little bit. He has a bunch of those on his whatnots as well, and they're really high grade. I want to say like the most I've seen one go for on his whatnot sales is like $60 to $70, which if it's high grade and you get Slad for a 9.8, I mean that's a pretty good buy. And it's a 1 in 50. I don't know what the print run was on number 1, but I can imagine it was like super high. But dude, you got possibly the 2 forefronts of the Asian MCU editions, and Swordmaster and SHANG CHI on the cover. that Hans variant, I think it's just that's why I liked it so much, because you have both of them with the sword and with his like foot, like Bruce Lee style. I thought it was kind of cool. Do you have, so number 2 is on the far right? That's actually my favorite cover of the whole series. Do you have this one, dude?
The number 2?
Yeah, the one on the far right.
I do not know.
So it's a 1 in 25 of number 2. Again, I doubt a lot of stores were ordering 25 copies of number 2. But dude, I love that. I love that cover because it's really the sword pops. It's all glowing and like, you know, like, yeah, it's like
tracers from swinging it back.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty badass. That's like my favorite one. And it kind of reminds me of like anime / like Final Fantasy style art as well.
It definitely looks like a sword that Cloud would wield.
They should make a Swordmaster Final Fantasy video game. We're putting out there in the universe right now.
Run it up the pole to Square Enix.
Yeah.
Anyway, they'll be like, hey, we think that maybe this would be it doesn't matter what you think.
Add to our best era in wrestling ever. And then Swordmaster number 3, the 1 in 25. Super hard and high grade, but there is one on eBay. Let's look it up real quick. Maybe give you guys some low-hanging fruit here. Swordmaster. This is the only time I'm ever gonna be like, if it's still there. Oh shoot, number 3. My bad. Give me a second, guys. Okay, there is one. If I've ever done if you guys have ever got any value out of our show ever, which is probably not.
Definitely not from me.
Definitely not from Jason. This Swordmaster, 1 in 25. It's fine, very fine for $29. I would email the dude and ask, would you take 25 for it and just try and get a best grade for it? Because I feel like if we are right and Swordmaster does pop, this is going to be the one to get. Anyway,
I feel like that's a weird thing to pop up underneath it. It's like Swordmaster 3, you type in 1 in 25, and then it's like Batman Spawn number 1, like recommended release. It's like that's like so. Did I even type any of those letters?
It's probably the algorithm. Whatever. But nah, it's kind of weird. So anyway, that's your low hanging fruit for the day. $29.99 a fine, very, very fine in that middle cover. I think that's a pretty good deal. But maybe email and ask for $25. And then cheap spec, and because I'm biased. So I was talking about, if you're really curious about the lore of Swordmaster turning into Iron Fist, this is a book you need to get. It's definitely in back issue / dollar bins, possibly. A lot of people are trying to pump this book up as far as like, oh, get this now for like 10 to 20. I'm not going to do that here. Don't pay more than cover for this book. But there's 3 different covers. There's this cover, which I think it's the main cover, but there's a cover B with White Fox and Iron Fist, and Swordmaster. There's a third cover that's Peach Momoko, which it's just White Fox on it. Get this book for kind of the beginning of Lin Lee's origin to becoming Iron Fist. It's kind of the middle ground book to lead into Iron Fist, if you enjoy Swordmaster. And I still find these on the shelves like every once in a while. Have you found this book before?
Which one? The
on the left.
Iron Fist or the White Fox? I've seen the White Fox. You can find that in bins.
Okay. And then the one on the far right's Drew from Wanted Comics. Shout out to Drew from Wanted Comics. He sells this on his Whatnot shows. It's actually the trade dress and the Virgin cover for like, I want to say like $30, $30 to $40. I don't know exactly how much he pays for it, but I bought this book off my man Big Leg because I am an Iron Fist fan, or Lin Lee fan in general. That's cat food. Anyway, did you buy this? Did you buy these covers?
I believe I've got the White Fox cover. I don't have the Iron Fist cover.
So it's done by Lucio Pacillo. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but yeah, that I dug the cover.
I don't know if it's the same book. I've got like a Delato version where he's like the one where he's in the rain hunched over, but I think that's Danny Rand.
Oh, Danny Rand. Oh no,
I think that's where he's like crouched down and he's kind of like hunched down, holding his head like in the rain.
Oh yeah, I don't know that.
I think it's the same book, but like a different cover.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Lucio Parillo. Thank you. Yeah, the one on the far right. So if you want that copy, hit me up. I will get you in touch with Drew from Wanna Comics. Or I don't know if Big Leg still has one, but possibly he does. So in conclusion, I think we're super stoked for the Swordmaster going forward and the Iron Fist collab. I think we believe this is a character that has the highest chance of becoming part of the MCU. However, he is younger than Shang-Chi, so maybe a Peter Parker, like kind of Peter Parker / like Iron Man kind of, sidekick kind of deal, which I think could still work. I can't even fathom who would play Swordmaster, because he'd have to be like a high schooler, right? So he'd probably have to be like in his 20s. I'm assuming, correct?
Probably.
Right. So
he'd want somebody young to play him because he's still. I can't remember where he's in school of some sort. I just don't remember.
Yeah, they don't really allude to like how old he is in the. You just kind of like from reading the book, it's kind of got that like the vibes of like a kid, that kind of.
Well, I just remember the start of the Swordmaster series. I'm pretty sure they were like leaving class or like he had a book bag on, so I'm assuming he's in like either
at least high school,
latter half of high school or early college, I'd guess.
Yeah. Right. So he's still like a student. Like you'd have to, if you do cast him, you're not gonna introduce him as an Iron Fist. You would have to cast like a younger dude. So anyway, cool. Let's do a little market report and kind of kicking on with the Lin Lee Iron Man or Swordmaster spec. Look at that. War of the Realm number 2, 1 in 25. What I was just talking about went for $700 like a few months ago. This is before the announcement too. $280, man.
I would have bought that if I'd have known.
Yeah. I would have put 300 on that and been happy. Like that is a great buy. And then Amazing Spider-Man 569 second print, first Anti-Venom. This was kind of this is like pre-COVID like key book, and I don't know if it went for necessarily $1,350, but that's a great sale for that book because it's really tough and high grade anyway. But I think 9.6s go for like $250 to $300. But that is actually not a bad idea. You'd have automatic fans, kind of like the effect of who's Homebro from that one English group, Harry Styles. Yeah, same exact. Yeah, instant MCU fans. Anyway, that's actually a really good point. Magazine market. So a couple interesting magazines I found. Erling Haaland, Kylian Mbappe, soccer, rare first Sports Illustrated for $75. I thought that was a really good buy. I feel like soccer is in its infancy here in the United States, and it's just going to grow. It's going to be a major sport because every kid freaking plays soccer. So I thought that was like, I mean, you're getting the modern day Jordan. Hey, what up, dog? Where you been? But yeah, I like the Kylian Mbappe Sports Illustrated. That's pretty cool. And then I just thought this was cool. Like, I mean, is that the shot? That's not the shot that he, or is it against the Jazz for the title? You know what I'm talking about? Byron Russell.
Might
98?
be. I'd have to see more of the picture.
But if that is, I think that's a really good buy at $24. It'd be cooler if it was the back, like when he like goes like this, or like him like pushing off Byron Russell. That'd be a cooler cover. But I think for $24, that's kind of a cool buy. Sports card market. I've never heard of this card before, but it's an upper deck. It's granted it's a grade 7, but for $200, Jordan Records collection BGS. I thought it was kind of cool. And then The Machine, Albert Pujols, 2001, Topps Chrome, traded rookie for, dude, the guys like are, he has the modern day non-juiced home run record, essentially. I don't know if he actually did juice, but like, dude, that was crazy that he got 700 last year in like the last year of his contract.
They should just start letting everybody in baseball take steroids.
I think
be like, let's juice this game up. Literally. We have like pitchers throwing like 150 miles an hour. Like,
dude, they already throw 103, like might as well, like, I don't know. It'll be interesting. That the time clock will be interesting to watch. But I mean, for me, like when Aaron Judge would come to bat, like I was clicking on the channel every time, and it brings viewers. I mean, that's just, unfortunately, that's how it works. But Final Fantasy 7 spec, even though these aren't Final Fantasy 7 games, I'm sorry, that's all I could find. Final Fantasy 3 for NES, considered by some the greatest Final Fantasy game of all time. I highly disagree. It's 7, no questions about it. If anyone wants to fight about it, talk to this guy. Don't talk to me. I'm not big enough to fight people. Final Fantasy 9, the strategy guide. Strategy guides. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, 7. Thank you, Renee. Strategy guide. Dude, I'm telling you, man, they're worth money. You're always like, oh, 30 was strategy guide. Blah, blah. Yeah. Screw you, man. Strategy guides are worth money. Yeah. Say something.
No.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry. I got mad. I'm sorry. So there you go. $80 for the original Squaresoft, though. That was kind of cool. And have you played Final Fantasy 9 before?
I think that's where I kind of like had started to drop off, because I played 7, I played 8, but then at that point I didn't have a PlayStation anymore. I had moved over to an Xbox, I think, just because for me it sounds like a stupid reason, but the Xbox controllers actually fit my hand when they came out, and like PlayStations just stayed the same, so they were like felt so small in my hand. I know they've upgraded their controllers now so that they're bigger.
Oh, I guess, yeah, they're a little bigger. Yeah, I guess so.
But like, the Xbox won't always fit in my hands better. So it's just like, it was easier to play. I know it's a stupid reason to like switch consoles, but I'm like, it was just more comfortable to play.
Yeah.
It's no like I hate PlayStation type deal. It was more.
Yeah, you're a hater. I mean, you have it MIB, Mint Box, or CIB, Complete in Box. That's a new thing now too. I never played 9. I remember playing 8, and like the card game, I finally got good at it, but like I messed up like previous, so I couldn't get like the main whatever magic or whatever it was. And then like, isn't the end of like 8 where you have like 17 different like bosses to beat like in a row or something?
I can't remember. It's been so long since I played that. I think I actually have it, because it was one of the games that was offered for like $15 through the Microsoft Store, like Final Fantasy 7. So I think I haven't jumped to it yet, because I've played Final Fantasy 7 like 3 times.
Yeah. And it was like
the problem. I was like, they have Final Fantasy 7. I was like, what? And then I like locked myself in for like 5 days other than work, and just played it. Like, oh, I remember this game. This was fun.
Ultima Nerd. Ultimate Weapon, Ultima Nerd. That's you. Yeah. Ultima Nerd.
I still can't beat. There's still one. I can't beat. What's that damn one? Emerald Weapon. That stupid one underwater with the timer. Oh. I always freaking die. It's like, and I did what your stupid like your strategy guide said to do too, and I still lost.
Wow, this is the first in our show.
I literally like went through a walkthrough of the damn thing. It's like, this is what you're supposed to do.
Jason mocks me in our show. Wow, it's like that's the first sign of the apocalypse. Jason mocking me. F you, dude. Anyway, and then I just thought these were kind of crazy buys, but so on the right, it's 2009 Camel Cigarette Zippo lighter. I don't know if this is true, but I feel like you have to smoke like 55,000 cartons of like smokes to get this. Jesus. But $820 for that Zippo lighter.
So what you're telling me is that whoever owned that died. the person who got that is dead, and now it is their descendant that is selling that. It's like I smoked all those cigarettes to get it, Sonny.
Rest in peace, Lolo. Anyway, my grandma used to smoke like cigarettes. Like I think he smoked like 6 packs a day or something like that. But he lived to like 89 years old. So, anyway, he used to say, "The cigarettes, it makes me stronger. It gives me the strength to survive." That's my Filipino accent for everybody. Thank you. I'm here till noon today. And then you remember 3DO, the video game system? Remember 3DO? Did you ever have that? Did you ever buy that system or?
No.
Okay. So for all you young kids, I think it was the mid 90s, like PlayStation, I don't know if it came out yet, but Sony was like the Apple of the mid 90s. They always waited for everyone else to like make stuff and then they would do something. But Panasonic was coming out with something. There was another company that was like electronics company, and then Sega Saturn came out. Super Nintendo was still like doing its thing, but Panasonic 3DO was like on CD, right? And it was like, I remember it was in Magnolia Hi-Fi. Do you remember that store?
Yeah.
It was a high-end store. Yeah, they had this at Magnolia Hi-Fi. Dude, bro, yeah. I wanted one so bad. It was like $600 back in 1993. So, but I bet like if you found this like at like a pawn shop, and I had the TurboGrafx 16. I didn't even know about that one. Yeah, Sony just like whatever. They was like screw everybody. Oh, that's kind of cool. And Neo Geo was the other one too. Remember, you could play at the arcade, and then if you put in your code, so it was like, hey, what?
I was gonna say, I remember they had that. It was like a weird Street Fighter-esque game on there.
Yeah, that was the only thing that was good.
But like all their names were in. I don't remember what like country the games derived from. I'm assuming Japan, but it was like in Japanese, like all the names and stuff like that. It'd be like Chevalier Gengon, and you're like, what? Like, who is that? I was like, that's not what it said underneath his name.
Yeah, dude. I remember as a kid, like my one friend that had Neo Geo had like a password, and so he would, I'm gonna look that up next time, bro. Yeah, I'll look that up. But he had a Neo Geo, and so he would go play the Samurai Warriors game, and he'd log in, and like it would have like a character already like set up. But it was kind of a cool concept because it was like, okay, play at home, and then come to the arcade, and you can keep playing the game. It just never took off. I don't know for whatever reason, but that just brought back some old memories.
I remember that's how it was. How much money I wasted playing there's like, so from where I lived, there was a little family-owned market, like around. I mean, it was like a couple blocks away, and we would like ride our bikes there because we would just buy candy, and they had Ninja Gaiden and Shinobi in the back of the store, like the arcade game. Yeah. I wasted so much money playing those things and just eating those huge pixie sticks. You know what I'm talking about? Like the big, like 2 foot long ones that had no, like you had no business eating that and living afterwards.
I do remember those. So $300, bro, for your turbo whatever, Turbo Express, TurboGrafx 16 fully. $300, 2 hours left. If you guys want that, want to relive some memories,
grab it. And
then it's giveaway time. So go buy Swordmaster, damn it. And if you want to be entered into the phrase or the giveaway, the phrase is Jason is still single. That is the phrase for today.
I knew it.
Hashtag Jason is still single. Yeah? No? And to remind you. Okay, yeah, call me, man. I do find kind of weird stuff. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. But if you want to get into, again, the phrase is Jason is still single. If you want these books, cave drawings, Jason is still single.
I mean, it's not wrong.
I'm just going to put it up there. I'm just gonna put it up there. Okay. Is Cave Drawings the only one that wants to be in the giveaway?
It's like, you get it, you win.
Jason is still single. Okay, Vika, you're in. Wow. Empire Comics, loving the hashtag. Oh, I'm so sorry, dude. Hi, Nathan. Hi, Nathan. So we got four. We got 4 in the drawing for the book. It's like these. Yeah.
I'm gonna throw your friggin' Ghost Rider run that you let me borrow in the garbage.
Oh, dude, I gave that to you, man. It's yours, man.
Oh.
He just says that's fucked up but funny. Anyone else want in? Does anyone else want in the drawing? Jason, you got anybody else in the drawing that wants to be? Relationships are overrated, man. Only you're a true friend if you can make fun of someone else and they get a laugh out of it, right?
I don't understand how I've like put up with you for like 24 years.
Shut up.
It's like I should have just opened the fucking car door and pushed you out at some point.
All right, I'm gonna give like 30 more seconds. You got it. Whatever you put in that, just put whatever you want. Put whatever you. Or put the catchphrase. I don't care if you won last week or a week before. It's all good. So is Jessica Henwick. Who's that? The dragon. Okay, we got 6 in the giveaway. I will run the giveaway, and here we go. 1 second.
You gonna watch the boxing match today?
No. Are you gonna watch it?
You're not gonna watch Tommy Fury and Jake Paul?
No. Are you gonna watch it though? Like legit?
No, I'm not paying $50 for that shit.
Oh, you gotta pay money for it? Yeah, that's dumb. Oh, dude, there you go, Jason. All right. Yeah, dude, Jessica's single, and is she single as well? Dude, yeah, DM her. Get sign them DMs. All right, guys, we're gonna guys and gals, we are going to run the giveaway. Thanks again, 10 live today. As long as we're double digits, I think it might be a love connection.
Maybe.
Oh, wait, I want to see real quick. What did the poll say? So our poll, let's see. Oh, so 73% said yes and 26% said no. We had 19 votes. So that's cool. We had 19 people watching today. That's great. I'm going to run this giveaway. Thanks again, everybody, for watching, and let's do it. Renee, you win again, dude.
Oh. Boom.
Boom.
Are we doing 2 or 1 book?
Oh, what's that?
Is it both of them together or 1 and 1?
I just did 1. Do you want to give away something, Jason?
I don't have anything set aside right now. I mean, I can.
You want? Okay.
I've got a Swordmaster #1 if somebody wants to run that. I just got to dig through my book or my bins.
All right. Well, Renee, I have your info. This is for the Swordmaster #1. Renee, we'll remove you from this one, but let's do it. Let's do it again. Hold on a second.
While we're on the topic of this, or I can run I got it's 9/6 New Agents of Atlas #2.
Do the Swordmaster one. Do that one. Okay, ready? Sure. Jason, you ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Do I have to do something?
No.
Other than find it?
Yeah, other than find it. Yeah. Vika. All right. Cool, Vika. Okay, hit up Jason on Instagram. Cool, I'll take that. And then Renee, you know where I live, so we're good there. I actually have 2 books for you. So anyway, Jason, do you have any closing words for our show? Do you have any closing words for the show?
No.
You can say no. You can't say no.
Thanks for tuning in and putting up with us week to week.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's good. I'll be doing a show on Brian's channel, Beyond Wednesdays on Wednesday. Should be pretty cool. And then kind of if you guys wouldn't mind liking our show today, subscribing, and letting everybody else know how great we are, I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Have a great Sunday. Congrats to all the winners today. And we'll see you next Sunday, right?
Yes, as long as I don't get designated to work. I might be a little bit worse for wear if I don't work, only because the night before is the big UFC fight, so I'll probably be drinking and watching that.
Cool. All right. Well, I guess we may not have a show next week, but we'll try.
No, I will still be on. I'll just be like, I might just be like, oh man.
Well, that's
I shouldn't have drank so much whiskey watching the fight.
You do what this is America. You do what you want, man. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you later.